Alright, hello everyone and welcome to Tartaria Tour Miami. Before we get started, I'd like to do a little bit of breath work, lead a little bit into this so we can fully digest it, go into it with a clear, calm, and open mind. I've been taking breath work from Devon, the Black Airbender. I'll put links on his page below. Highly recommend his work. Breath work is a good way to get grounded and really take in the energy and the prana that we need. So start off, try to sit in lotus position. We're going to be breathing through the nose. Put your hands on your knees up, tongue on the roof of the mouth, and eyes gazing to your third eye. And we're doing all the breath work through the nose. But let's start with an intention to really awaken people, really realize the truth, really open up the world in the mind's eye to what's really going on within all the darkness, and let us know in confidence that what we do when it's guided by spirit is moving in a good direction and is having an effect. The only reason I'm making videos right now is because of the original Mind Unveiled channel that explained Tartaria very clearly for me, and then getting into John Levy's work and then into Santos Bonacci and Bro Sanchez. People I'm connecting with on IG. If you feel like doing something, if you're really interested in this, I encourage you, just start it out. But let's not get distracted. Let's go right into our breath work. So let's do through the nose and just follow intuitively. Let the breath guide. I'll begin tapping with my throat chakra. And get ready to hold. Swallow. All your saliva is connected to your pineal gland. Just breathe calmly through the nose, eyes still gazing. Follow your breath. Don't have to do exactly as I'm doing. Slowly get back to your breath. Still breathing through the nose. Let your eyes naturally go back to what it needs to. On my main page, my name is Tavi. I've been reading a book called Light Medicine of the Future. I think it's from the late 80s, early 90s. It talks about how different light colors are healing. It's really expanding. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is where everything kind of converges. My personal life and my Tartaria explorations. So without further ado, let's start to get into this Tartaria tour Miami. So my wife and I were there last week picking up her cat. Her cat flew in from Chile, and we went to pick him up there because it was too expensive and didn't make sense to fly him all the way to New York. But man, Miami is a beautiful city. I mean, a lot of the old architecture is gone, which is a super shame. But just the tropics and the air, and the attitude of the people are not as easy to comply as up here in New York and other areas. You know, the people are more into the, question and to not let the government get too big, which I do agree with. So Tartaria Tour Miami. The first picture you see here is the Freedom Tower, which is what I want to cover. That was the main one I was able to get on the ground. We were only there for 3 days, so didn't get a ton of them, but do plan on going there in the future, definitely. And yeah, I was asking on my Instagram, like, Art Deco. Anyone have any insights into Art Deco? Because, Miami is full of Art Deco. We were staying in South Beach, and there's a lot of Art Deco around there. Really beautiful, but hard to discern how old it really is. And what I want to kind of go in and try to break down here is, let's look at some of these. Try to open these all with a preview document. All right, here we go. So here's the Freedom Tower, the tower that we went to. Really boots on the ground. In Miami, beautiful building. There's on the top spire there is a boat, and kind of like, not a compass, but a north, south, east, west thing. And when I zoomed in, I could see a lot of detail on here. Let me just start off with the oldest photos I found. Couldn't find really old stuff, but here's an old photo. The Freedom Tower used to be a Miami Herald headquarters, and then it became a haven for Cubans and Cuban Americans during the something that happened. Cuba and America were enemies at one point. Probably media staged, because I do know people from Cuba, and beautiful people, wonderful people. But this served as a place to really help them who were exiled in Cuba and get their feet on the ground in Miami. So that's why it was called the Freedom Tower. Here's another view. You can see it right on the right. And here's another view. Freedom Tower. Right here. I don't know what this is right here. And this old world one right here. Look at the pyramid on the top. I didn't get to go close, but there's always next time. Always happy to go back to Miami. Alright, that's the last of that one. Let me open up the web browser so we can start to get into to that stuff. So I got hip onto this page, start page. Recommend using this as opposed to Google. Google tracks you and is heavily censored, so we can I think we can find more stuff on here. Alright. Here's the Miami Freedom Tower. History 1925 to 2005. We'll read some on good old Wikipedia. Or on here, it's a Miami-Dade College. Here's an old picture. Lots of detail in there. Let me look at that. Constructed in 1925 as a home for the Miami News, the Freedom Tower at Miami-Dade College was modeled after Giralda Cathedral Bell Tower in Seville, Spain, striking in its architectural detail with its octagonal tower and richly ornated facade. It remains one of South Florida's most distinctive historic buildings. Designated a National Historic Landmark in 2008, the building, designed by George A. Fuller, Schultz, and Weaver, was donated by 600 Biscay LLC and the Pedro Martin family. Most notably in its history, MDC's Miami-Dade County's Freedom Tower was operated by the U.S. government as a reception center for Cuban refugees from 1962 to 1974. The building is significant because it represents the important story of the Cuban exodus to America and resettlement during the Cold War, reports the U.S. Department of the Interior, which is also called the Freedom Tower, the Ellis Island of the South. Though it operated in the capacity for only 12 years, the building has become an icon representing the faith that democracy brought to troubled lives. The faith that democracy brought to troubled lives, the generosity of the American people, and a hopeful beginning that assured thousands a new life in a new land. All right, let's look at Wiki, because I can really click in and go to, down different rabbit holes and so on and so forth. Yeah, here's a picture. There it is. Freedom Tower, building in Miami, Florida, designed by Schultz and Weaver. All right, who's Schultz and Weaver? Let's look at this. Schultz and Weaver was an architecture firm established in New York City in 1921. The partners were Leonard Schultz and S. Fullerton Weaver. Leonard, born in Chicago, 1877, educated at the City College of New York. That's where I've been doing my headquarters for my Tartaria Tour IG. Ranks highly among the most successful pupils of Franco-American architect Emmanuel Louis Manquisri, founder of Altieri Mascara. Sorry, my pronunciation may get butchered. Schultz had been an employee of the firm of Warren and Wetmore, during his 20 years in that company's office, he had worked on the designs for such projects as New York City's Grand Central Terminal. There we go. Weaver's primary responsibilities in the new firm in engineering, business, and real estate. Schultz and Weaver's first major commission was from John McKee Bowman's Biltmore Hotel. John McKee Bowman was a Canadian-born businessman, American hotelier, and horseman and founding of the Hotel Corps. Biltmore Hotels for the large Los Angeles hotel known as Biltmore Hotel. All right, I don't want to read all this. Let's look at this. Selected and commissioned works. Biltmore Hotel, Park Lane Hotel. Okay, I walked past that by Central Park. Atlanta, Biltmore Hotel. Wow. This catches my eye. Look at that. In Cuba. Similar colors as the Freedom Tower. Really beautiful. Look at that. The Hotel Sevilla, March 22, 1908, is a four-story Moorish revival structure designed by the architects Aurelio E. Mendoza, located on Cala Traco Dero near Paso del Prado, between Malsón and Per Central. Oh man, I bet Cuba's got a ton of Tartarian stuff. Alright, who's this? This is Graham Greene. Moorish revival. Wow, Brazil. Look at that. Need to go to Brazil too. Yeah, I need to go to all these places. Tartaria tour will go worldwide. Moorish revival, or Neo-Moorish, is one of the exotic revival architectural styles that were adopted by architects of Europe and Americas in the wake of Romanistic fascination with all things Oriental. What is this? Maybe this is a cover-up. Moorish revival. It reached the height of its popularity after the mid-19th century, part of a widening vocabulary of articulated, decorative, ornate, drawn from historical sources beyond familiar classic and Gothic models. Neo-Moorish architecture drew on elements from the classic Moorish architecture and results from wider Islamic architecture. Yeah, these are beautiful. Alright, don't want to get sidetracked. Don't want it to be too long here for you. Alright, the Freedom Tower. Let's see what it's designed based on. I want to show you guys that. Alright, it's based, borrowed elements from this place. Geralda. Like, look at this. A tower and a dome. We see this a lot, right? Based on this. Alright, shit. Looks like I lost the Wikipedia page. Alright, well, the next thing I wanted to get into was Art Deco. I could not find any Art Deco old photos. Supposedly hurricanes knocked everything down. They had to rebuild everything. So, I don't know. I got a lot of Art Deco on the ground in South Beach, Ocean Drive. And then I looked to Art Deco in architecture in New York City. It was really interesting. What did I want to see? Just Art Deco in general. You know, like this, the Chicago World's Fair, that we talk about that in this community. The 1933 one was Art Deco. I don't know if the first one was Art Deco. I don't think it was, but here's the 1933 when I search pictures. It looks not like the famous pictures we've seen, but we still got, you know, Zeppelins and stuff like that going on here. And here's the famous first one. Alright, let me try to look at some more Art Deco, old Art Deco. See, they got the tops. A lot of the even newer buildings in Miami have the tops on them. I wouldn't be surprised if Art Deco had something to do with Tartaria stuff. All right, well, what are these? Okay, here's some old photos of Miami. This looks nice. The Dade County Courthouse. I don't know if this is still up, but there is still, I think the pyramid top building I was talking about earlier might be the new courthouse. Not 100% sure. But just browse in here. Feel free to write in the comments, you know, if you have any other insight. I want to make more refined version of these buildings. Let me go real quick to the Freedom Tower. Yeah, Freedom Tower, Miami. Let me go back to the wiki page. Alright, so it ended up being a federal government facility. Not surprising. I'm glad this building is historically preserved. It says it was originally completed in 1925. Headquarters, printing facility of the Miami News. Developer is this guy. Let's see. Originally commissioned by the tower's developer. Who's this guy? James Middleton Cox. 46th and 48th Governor of Ohio. Representative of Ohio. Da-da-da-da. Cox retired from public office in 1920 presidential election to focus on his media conglomerate, expanded into several cities. By 1939, his media empire extended to Dayton to Miami. He remained active in politics, supporting Roosevelt's campaigns and attending the 1933 London Economic Conference. All right, well, you guys can look into this on your own if you want. Just want to, you know, dip into it. Really want to get on the ground, get conversation going with Art Deco stuff. Tartaria Tour 1. Here's the gallery. I think, yeah, the only construction photo is a photo that's similar to this where they're building the top. Let me try to go in and get... Yeah, like this right here. I think this is the only one. Let me go in there. Let's look at this. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? You think it's photoshopped? There's nothing from the bottom. I mean, is this even the same building? I don't remember these pillars. But let's see. Yeah, I don't see the pillars there. It doesn't even look like the same building. This looks like maybe the building with the pyramid on top. The, you know, this one. Yeah, that looks like this one. So yeah, no photos of the Freedom Tower. I'm gonna stay focused on the Freedom Tower for lack of time. I mean, not lack of time, but just, staying focused. All right, guys. Well, move on to Freedom Tower and then go into the Art Deco random stuff and the Versace mansion. Maybe let me look at the Versace mansion real quick. On here. Casa Casorina. Known as the Versace Mansion, is an American property built in 1930, renowned for being owned by Italian fashion designer Gianni Versace from 1992 until his death in 1997. It's on Ocean Drive. Now it's a hotel. It was built in 1930 by Ronan Wolfe in the Mediterranean Revival. Here we go with the Revival style again. An architect from a wealthy family, it is rumored that during construction a time capsule was hidden in one of the walls. Freeman said that structure was modeled on Alcazar de Colon with its building rocks. Santo Domingo is in Dominican Republic, World Heritage Site. The name translates to House of the Australian Pine. Yeah, so they got pines all over them. The Versace Mansion, on the gate around it, you'll see they got pine cones, pineal gland, and it's black and gold. And those colors are for the black sun of Mercury and the pineal gland. All right, let's see. Commentators suggest it was named after W. Somerset Maugham. This guy, an English playwright, novelist, short story writer. He was among the most popular writers of his era and reputedly the highest paid author during the 1930s. Oh man, I gotta keep going down the rabbit hole, man. I gotta look at these guys. Let's see. During the First World War, he served the Red Cross in the Ambulance Corps before being recruited in 1960 into the British Secret Intelligence Service. He worked for the service in Switzerland and Russia before October Revolution of 1917 and Russian Empire. During the war, he traveled to India, Southeast Asia, and Pacific. He drew from those experiences in his later short stories and novels. Remember to take a breath. It's a reminder to myself. Lots of information. I'm going through this kind of fast just because, I don't want the video to be too long because my computer goes kind of slow. All right. Freeman was son, this is back to Alden Freeman, who it was built by. Freeman was the son of Joel Francis Freeman, who served as treasurer of Standard Oil. John Rockefeller, owner. He was the treasurer. The younger Freeman lived in the house with his adopted Charles, family. He died in the house, blah, blah, blah. Versace. Just look at this. Look at the gallery here. Beautiful spot. Versace's got Medusa. Yeah, here's the pine cone as the logo. Love to get more into that. Looking at, and then you turn into stone. Another pine cone, back street, alleyway, back. All right, guys, well, we'll move on to the next portion of this. All right, guys, well, I found some more information regarding the Versace mansion. Just wanted to go over it real quick before you see the live footage of it later on in this video. So you see all this intricate, beautiful detail everywhere. This website has a lot of good photos. It shows a little bit of history of it. I wanted wanted to show you this picture and notice this big door, huge door. I mean, this door for the humans looks like a midget door or something, you know, like, look at that. Also wanted to shout out someone on Instagram, because I was asking, you know, if anyone knew about Art Deco stuff in Tartaria. Shout out to Christopher David 432. Yeah, he said, I'm thinking Art Deco was either imitation or people had memory or knowledge of the old ways. I agree, that's a good point. Maybe people had knowledge of the old ways, or, you know, you see some imitation or inspiration from, maybe it's a more minimal version of, you know, the old world style. But anyway, back to this Versace mansion. It's like a hotel right now, but I mean, just look at this door, like, and the detail in there. So before Versace became the focus of fashion, the 3-story villa was built in Miami, 1930, Alton Freeman. I think we already went over that, yeah. Treasure of the Standard Oil, but just look at these pictures. Just want to give you a little sense of in here. 3 stories. This middle courtyard, wow. Like a house like that. And look at this dome right here. Look at that. 3 stories, ready for a nice dinner. Mr. Versace. Here's a look at the pool. There's vases. Look at all the details in there. It's a nice photo. I didn't get to go inside, so these are gonna have to do for the inside stuff. Some of the rooms. Paintings. I don't know what these paintings are. I'm playing music. I don't know. Someone is sick. Painting in this room. Yeah, so I think that's about it. But this page is good, so I'm going to save it. It's got the Park Avenue Armory. You know, someone posted stuff on Instagram about that. That was great. You know, save that in there. Versace logo is Medusa. You know, I don't want to get into that. You guys can look that up on your own. I was just looking it up a little bit. And Medusa, also called Gorgo, was one of the 3 monstrous gorgons generally described as winged human females with living venomous snakes in place of hair. Those who gazed into her eyes would turn into stone. Most sources describe her as the daughter of Physaris and Seto, although the author Hyginus makes her the daughter of Gorgon and Seto. Oh yeah, I wanted to get into just a little bit of Medusa over here. Medusa was beheaded by the Greek hero Perseus, who therefore used her head, which retained its ability to turn onlookers to stone as a weapon, till he gave it to the goddess Athena to place on her shield. In classic antiquity, the image of the head of Medusa appeared in the evil averting device known as the Gorgonion. What is this? Okay. An amulet showing the Gorgon head. Protective pendant. So I think right here, yeah. According to Hesiod, and whatever this guy, she lived and died on an island named Sarpedon, somewhere near Sicythine, coastal town in ancient Aeolus, opposite of Lesbos Island, in western Mysia. The 2nd century BC novelist, this guy, sorry I don't know his name, don't know how to pronounce it, put her somewhere in Libya, where Herodotus had said that the Berbers originated her myth as part of their religion. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Berbers. Berbers or Imaghen were an ethnic group native to North Africa and West Africa, specifically Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Mauritania, northern Mali, northern Niger, and the Canary Islands. Smaller Berber populations are also found in Burkina Faso and Egypt's Siwa Oasis. I just thought this was interesting. This made my intuition go up a little bit because the Moors, Morocco, and we're talking about giants and maybe other type of people. Maybe Medusa was a real, maybe it was a real thing that happened, a real person, real creature, whatever. We see a lot of sketchy stuff in whatever Egypt and Libya, Gaddafi being taken out because he was about to make gold, unite all the African countries together, and that would basically collapse the economy. So he got, taken out. Tunisia, just other parts of Africa, Madagascar. You see recently that president who was speaking out against, the virus and stuff, get poisoned because he did some tests. He did the PCR tests on like oranges and many different things, and wasn't obeying the commands of whatever the rulers wanted, so he got taken out. But I commend him for his actions. But this is just interesting, the Berbers. Let me go into here. That's a cool flag. I like that. This reminds me of light language. I do light language as like a meditative practice. You can do it through your vocal cords, or you can do it just drawing. This looks like a drawn, or it's like intuitive drawing. Very cool. The term Berber comes from Greek. Meaning barbarian. The Romans also used the word to refer to their neighbors to the north in Germania, roughly the area that is Germany today, as well as the Celts, Iberians, Gauls, Goths, Thracians. Among the oldest written attestations of the word Berber is its use as an ethnonym in a document from the 1st century AD, Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. It's interesting. It sounds like a derogatory term almost, like Berber comes from Greek, meaning barbarian, and the Romans used this term to refer to their neighbors in the north in Germany as barbarians. And it looks like they're using this towards Africans, and they're using it towards Celts. We already know that the Celts and the Irish are deeply suppressed in terms of knowledge and history. We already know that the Africans are deeply suppressed, and even the Germans. We see all these old castles. We see this beautiful architecture. To me, it seems like Berber coming from Greek and Romans using this word is like another attestation. Like, okay, maybe the Greeks and Romans are just trying to hide something and call the people who are maybe actually the builders of some of these Tartarian buildings that we see, and this grand old culture, trying to call them barbarians, trying to wipe out their history, gaslighting them, trying to do something. This is interesting. Maybe I'll have to come back to this, or if anyone else wants to collaborate or got any information on this, let me know. It's a lot of stuff to dig into. Alright guys, let's move on to the next section. Alright, we are here. And it is Tartaria tour Miami, because we're in Miami for a few days. to look up some nice buildings, and we're meeting our friend at a park, and the park is right next to one of the buildings I wanted to see the most. And we'll start off with this building. Wow. This is the, what is this building?
I don't know what it is. I don't know, you say.
It's some kind of county, it's a college. There's a ship on top of it, but look at the detail in there. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in for you. Look at this. The ship on there. There's not a lot of old stuff in Miami, so this one really stands out. Look at the beauty in here. Most of the stuff is new, as you can see. Not so impressive. The only new one I like is really this one, but still nothing compared to the old world. There's the water right there. And we will go closer. To view it. All right, so it's the Freedom Tower at Miami-Dade College. That's what it is.
Yeah, the Freedom Tower.
Tower of Freedom.
You showed me that.
I think I showed it to you. Beautiful palm trees. It's starting to rain, so I got to zoom in real quick. Don't want to break my camera. Now I'm getting a better view. Look at this. The Freedom Tower. Now we'll start from the bottom. Look at that scaffolding. Looks like they're doing some remodeling.
You feel much art on the side.
Okay, ready to get closer?
Yeah, you want to go it?
Yeah. Train track. Wow, there's a train track that's right on this tower. This is like one of the oldest buildings here. Everything else around it is new. train tracks. I wonder if this train track is operational. It's right next to this classic old building. Let's get a little closer. See if we can see any details. Miami-Dade College. Maybe I can look online here. Wow, look at these doors. Look at the doors here.
It's you.
It's huge. Can you tell me in front of the doors? I can film you in front of the door.
You want it?
Yeah. Look at the scope of the door. Huge. And back up. Okay. Great. Now it's raining again, but we are safe under the scaffold. Wow.
This is fantastic.
Yeah. So look, we're safe under the scaffolding. Here's around us. Look at that, there's a carnival.
Where is the
Right there.
Ah.
See the thing going around?
Eh?
And here's a close-up on the bricks. A lot of wear and tear. And here it is.
Solid stone.
Okay.
It's only for it.
Grand Vacation Club. Guess I'll do Tartaria Tears Miami on my phone.
Tartaria Church.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these buildings are Tartarian, but I'll have to research them later. Look at the windows and the things. And we need to research more into the
Good internet.
This is a post office, supposedly. Looks pretty nice for a post office. Now this is a nice one. Casa. The Chase Federal Building.